could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it.
Hello and welcome to the Smite Draft League. We've got Immortal action for you here today. We've got Sanctified versus Dark Omen. I'm Anthony Malum. I've got Jeffrey with me, and iNooblet is pressing buttons on the camera. Jeffrey, how are you tonight?
I am doing great. I'm a bit tired from my job, but that's okay because I will get excited for this game and I'll find my energy back as the bans are coming through. I mean, Maui Ao Kwang, pretty usual bans, but then Hombats is not a ban I see all that often.
Yeah, the Hoombots does strike me as interesting. It's definitely been good this season, but that's the first time I think I've actually seen it banned. So yeah, it's an interesting one. The only thing, Dracull, I talked about this in week 1. Dracull is one of the more studied and researched captains we have. So that could be a part of it. Maybe this was something that Dark Omen was running in scrims or something of that aspect, but we'll have to see.
I wonder what Dracull got from watching Scouting Grounds and watching the one and only Wristlord running it down. Maybe we'll see a Vulcan ban in the second phase. For now, though, Soul being banned out is probably pretty standard. However, it does leave Freya open.
Yeah, and there's the Freya ban. Yeah, the Rizzler is one of the most polarizing characters that characters, a good way of putting it. Players that we had from Scouting Grounds. So I'm excited to see what the Rizzler brings to the season. Alderaan is the first lock-in secured up quickly by Sanctified. Once again, going with the team name. We love to see that. Guan Yu getting hovered. Take me through this Alderaan pick and what that could mean in response here.
Well, with Olorun being picked up while Soul and Freya are banned, you basically already won the lane. I think the only thing you can kind of pick against it is Chronos, so you at least match the late game. But the laning phase is pretty much over. Either you stomp it very, very, very early on with a very aggressive pick, or you just give up on duo lane. It's no wonder why it gets first picked every time it's open, basically.
And there's the Neja lock-in, which is interesting. It's the second time in the last couple days I've seen it prioritized. I don't think it's bad. That's not what I'm trying to set up here. It's just that it feels like Neja has gotten more popular in direct response to balance changes to other characters. But Neja started really popular and nothing really changed aside from the slight nerf to Bluestone. So it's just been an interesting character to watch develop as we're getting through year 10.
Well, I think Neja is very strong, but I wouldn't personally first pick it, as assassins right now are in such a place that you have like 5 or 6 very, very strong assassins. So even if you pick it a last pick assassin, you probably still get a pretty strong one. Maybe not as strong, but it's gonna get close. However, Agni here for Soulzc, we saw that last week as well. That's something you might have wanted to prioritize more if you were on the Chaos side here. We'll see what I do against it, though.
Yeah, the Agni was really strong in the hands of Soulzc. We talked about maybe Soulzc was playing and watching a bit too much of Nooblet streams. But yeah, the Agni's a good selection here. I wonder what it sets up here for jungle, because we've got to lock into the Olorun and the Agni. And I feel like those are two
Ooh.
characters that really need a jungler who can kind of have their back in the early phases and kind of get them through. And especially with picking this Ymir, this is a team that's kind of lacking in mobility a bit in terms. I mean, I obviously Agni's got the dash, Alderun's got sanctified fields, but still, this team could use some protection.
For sure. And it's maybe a little bit of a shame that Guan Yu already got locked here by Pedro. But maybe for support, I would like to see an Odin here. Odin has been
I was
absolutely
thinking
pop
that.
stomping everything, and you both counter the Agni and the Oloran pretty well.
And
Ymir
Kronos
also
is
no way
open.
out. Kronos is open.
So that goes really well with the Odin pick if they're on that same wavelength.
However,
Oh,
a Sobek being opted to instead. I mean, the pluck is still not bad. I just
yeah.
don't think it does as much for you in the team.
Yeah, it doesn't take the same kind of advantage that I think we were looking for, which is matters a lot. So I want to talk about Ibba here on Sanctified. In week 1, we saw Ibba go crazy. Only in one game was a sub for game 2. What do you expect to see? We saw Sasano from Ibba, and it was a ridiculous performance, going 19-1, I think it was. At one point, having a split pentakill between a triple and a double. So, are you looking for something impact like that, or are we focusing more around keeping our team safe here?
Well, first of all, clearly, with Susanoo not being a god that gets banned out that much, they did see that game and respect banned it by the
Yeah.
looks of it. However, I might be looking for maybe Thanatos for Ibba here,
Oh.
as I do think their backline is kind of secure with Agni just being able to bomb themselves, the Sanctified field from Oloran just being able to slow everything down, but they kind of need someone to just dive into that backline.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good call. Makes me wonder if we could see something like I was gonna say like a Thor. Actually, yeah, surprised that Thor is even available this late in this scenario. That could go pretty well here too. The Merlin getting picked up here. Merlin like Berlin if you're nasty. And Merlin's a character that I think has both gone undervalued and overvalued as time's gone on. And so far in this current meta, I feel like Merlin's easily forgotten about as being disgusting. If I have one on my team, they're doing 50k damage without blinking, and nobody realizes it.
Yeah, I'm always someone who screams Merlin is overrated and then get one hit by said Merlin. So it's still a very, very decent pick. The one thing you're lacking is objective secure, because you don't have the burst ultimate like some traditional mages like a Poseidon would have for you. So you're gonna look at the Acne being able to outsecure you pretty freely. That's the only downside. However, poke-wise and well, just damage output in a fight, I think Merlin rivals the Acne as one of the only mages in the game. So it's not a bad pick at all.
I'm still staring at this Amaterasu pick. I'm not really okay. Now I'm very confused, and they get
Oh,
locked in. All right, huh?
yeah, I think that's Ibba playing Osiris jungle.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. It's funny. I'm more bothered by the Amaterasu because from my personal experience playing so far year 10, Amaterasu's a
Mm-hmm.
character that's getting very much bullied and just kind of picked on right now. The
Mm-hmm.
Osiris, I don't think the Osiris is bad, but I mean, you're not gonna. I shouldn't put this out of the air. My caster curse, Dark Omen here, but you're not gonna go 19-2 on Osiris and be able to dive in and one shot somebody. So it just feels odd.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Amma loses lane to Guan Yu for sure, and then I also think Amma loses team fights to Guan Yu. I don't think she's in the best spot right now, but it might just be a flex. And maybe Mystic is trying to player diff in this game, I guess. We'll see how it works out. I do still think the better team goes towards Order side here.
And with that, we're gonna leave you here. We'll be right back with game number 1 between Dark Omen and Sanctified.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in the wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I stakes. I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place. Used to think we're getting close, and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I always thought we would make it. Now you're gone. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on.
Hello and welcome into game. It's Immortal Division, Sanctified versus Dark Omen. Osiris is on the way, was building up that passive, and let's do it.
Welcome. Yeah, we're into game 1 here between Sanctified and Dark Omen. As we see the more standard buff. Let's see if someone picks up the wrong buff this time, though. In this start. It does look to be the case. It looks to be the case for all 3 of them.
Whoa! Jeffrey called that one from a mile away, as everybody got the wrong buff.
It happened last time. I hear an Acne a little bit spam laughing about it as well. I think the only one who really took an L there is Ibba. I don't think
Yeah.
you like the blue buff on Osiris jungle here.
Yeah, that's rough. That was tough to watch. I mean, if you want to look at good sides, Amaterasu would be doing some decent poke and the soul lane with it, but that's the biggest positive I can find. That's so funny. Yeah, you were mentioning that, and look at this. Look at that. Using it. Get the kill. No, it's not get the kill. MysticMegatron not going to find it here. Does have the advantage now in the lane and could look to pull this totem nice and early with the red buff advantage.
An advantage, but only being able to use one more ability by the looks of it for now. Did get the totem to have a little bit of mana sustain for themselves, but it's not ideal. It's not perfect. It's also why I don't really like the Season 10 start so far. On duo lane side, you just die to the buffs if you pull all 3. And the amount of times people pick up the wrong buffs in the on the solo lane side of the map is absolutely insane, and it can ruin an entire game from minute 1.
So what you're saying is Noob would start meta.
Yes.
All right. I'm sure he's going to take that clip and take it to the bank. Oh, pluck into the tower on Dracull. Now the knockback doing good damage. Damage across the map. Actually, if you look, the Rizzler's pretty low as well. They're getting chased into their tier 2 tower. They do get away, but barely. After the pluck, and Dracull managed to not kill the Emir. Might turn into a gank, though, as Ibba's heading over on the Osiris. Dark Omen might have felt it out, so it's going to turn to a shield buff invade instead.
Yeah, just getting the neutral farm so the enemy team can't take it. It's not bad. It's Ibba probably seeing that the gank is not going to work out by the looks of it, so just take whatever you can and don't waste time, and especially don't try and die for it. Dracull is half HP, so you can't really focus on your support that much in the fight, so I think it's a good call by him.
For sure. So take me through, as we see MysticMegatron but poked out in the solo lane. Take me through what you think about this Osiris jungle selection here. Do you think this is I mean, we know this is a comfort pick for Ibba, but do you think it works here, or do you foresee it having some problems?
I'm foreseeing it having a lot of problems. I still think they're gonna win for the fact that they have Olorun and Acne. However, I don't think Ibba is going as crazy as he was during last week in the sub match. Yeah, I think picking Osiris Young was just suboptimal, and I don't know if you can call it a comfort pick if it's just not working. He just plays it a lot, and that's about it.
Yeah, I guess that is a fair point. It makes me think of of a lot of Ulers of the world. You know, somebody locks in the character, they say they're really good at it, and then they just spam their stance switch for 45 minutes and get 2 kills. But we'll see if Ibba can take control of the narrative there on the Osiris. Still no kills here, pulling up on 4 minutes. Bit surprising, but these are 2 smart teams playing it slow and patient and looking to only take advantages when they make themselves very obviously presented.
Yeah, and no presentation for opportunities so far by the looks of it. I think the closest towards a kill was either our Rizzler dying in mid lane almost, or Dracull being plucked on a tower. But going back to last point real quick, I do want to add, if you see an Afro in your game and she has like 20,000 stars, do you think she's good?
That's actually the best example, because I can think back to hundreds and hundreds of those games, and I think I may have won once.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty triggering statement, I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna need you to hold back on those. A lot of pressure coming out in duo, as Dracull looked to make some advantage in OLK, but it turned into just a wall to the face. But Dark Omen, bit pushed up, and Ibba's lurking around the corner. We might see a Lord of the Afterlife come out here. Nope, not gonna go deep, gonna play it safe and hang back. So just some pressure out on OLK, and he'll have to back. And things are still pretty shockingly calm across the map.
I also want to point out Ibba here, building into the starter item, which I forgot did hold that thought. Is Megatron dead?
Yeah, it's gonna be close, but gonna go back and doesn't not hit the 2 minions, but was able to survive. It was close for a second. Kind of surprised Patro didn't play it a little more aggressive. I guess it would have been ult for ult, so probably not too worth it, but you never know what could have happened there.
Yeah, for sure. But going back, we see the Mannequin Scepter. That's the name. I've remembered it by myself. I'm so proud of myself.
Oh, let's go.
Onto the Osiris here. It's a starter item that we used to see a lot last year during the beginning of Season 9, but we haven't really seen it picked up at all this year yet. What do you think about Mannequin here?
I kind of hate mannequins as much as MysticMegatron hates the Rizzler First Blood for Dark Omen and the Meme Lord himself. Big pickup for the Neja there, and a nice gank on to MysticMegatron. I do not like Mannequin Scepter. I think it is, when Smite first came to console, one of the most hated things was meditation. Because meditation was so bad, and they had you build it in the tutorial. So you just had hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of console players building meditation for basically no reason. That's kind of how I feel about Mannequin Scepter. I feel like it doesn't... In 9 out of 10 scenarios, there's just a better starter you could have gone. I mean, there is use cases for it, but I just feel like there's so much value elsewhere.
Yeah, the only problem with Mannequin is that the upgrade to Mannequin with the Mannequin Hidden Blade is so extremely good. But that's not the point of a starter item. You just throw away your start for a suboptimal starter. It can be worth in some cases, but usually if you get it, you just didn't buy the starter and you can immediately get the upgrade at level 20.
Yeah, and in these hyper-competitive games where, every little thing matters, giving up that early advantage with the starter could be a mistake. Steve has taken a lot of damage on the Xbalanque, my favorite character. First time I've had to see it in Season 2. That was sarcasm. And now we have a gank from the Rizzler in response to the pressure coming out on Steve. And Blizzard might be caught out. There's the beads into the Sanctified fields, but it's not going to be enough to survive as Steve picks up the kill with a nice dash.
Did the Rizzler just beat after Blizzard was already dead?
Let the Rizzler cook, Jeffrey.
I mean, sure. Yeah. The Rizzler is just cooking. He was flexing his golden status.
Solo kill for Patroclez in the solo lane on the MysticMegatron. I guess that gank earlier really has helped out in the long run here for Patro. And getting to use that breastplate as well, and it turns into a solo kill.
Yeah, like we were talking during the picks and bans, it's probably just Guan Yu being a a bit stronger character in the meta right now than Amaterasu can dream of being. So Petro getting a solo kill is not the strangest thing in the world, but still well played by them to actually pull it off. Because, well, picks just picks. There's still a number on your screen, and you still gotta pull it off. You still gotta have the skills to actually get the kill after all.
Something that popped in my head when we were watching the gank onto Blizzard was I never really thought about Xbalanque, as much as I hate the character, being so good into Oleron just for the Rising Jaguar as the main reason.
I mean, you get the 3 beats for a bit of the duration. You have an easy way of getting out of the ultimate indeed from... I just started speaking Dutch there, I'm so sorry. Of the Oleron ultimate. However, Blink going in here, hold the thought.
Ibba's going hard and OLK, and a
well.
nice wall from Dracull, but OK goes through the teeniest little crack in it. So I guess we can go back to your Dutch lesson?
Yeah, so anyways, like I was saying, but no one understood because I was speaking a different language that probably only one person in the server speaks, which would turn out to be me. You can get out of the ultimate from the Oleron pretty easily with the dash on X-Ball, of course. However, you do have the first bit where you are on CC immunity. You don't have the CC immunity just quite yet. So if Blizzard pulls off the knock-up with the free, X-Ball should still die every single time inside of that ultimate.
I like the nitty-gritty there of that team fight, you predicting how it's going to go. With the consecration into the Sanctified fields and erupting the Rising Jaguar, be a pretty impressive play if Blizzard can pull it off, but who knows what Blizzard can do since they built their starter item in the second slot. But no, this is been a very calm game, so just finding things to poke fun about, get us through the early game here, which has been pretty overwhelmingly in the favor of Dark Omen, which is not really how you anticipate this game going in the end. So what do you think Sanctified needs to change here in the mid game?
I think Sanctified just needs to keep their head in it, need to keep calm. They have the late game by far. If you're looking at picks, I don't think anything can really rival 3 Acne ultimates dropping on top of you. Not even Merlin damage can compete with that on late game, let alone this Oleron just one-hitting people with magical crits, because that's a thing in this game for some reason. I think if you're Sanctified, you shouldn't be too worried yet. Just keep your head in it, stay calm, and try not to get behind too far. You'll have the late game for sure.
And those are the thoughts from Jeffrey's corner. A lot of pings coming out in mid. Rizzler runs into Dracull, and Soulzc's also around the corner. There's a stun. Windfire Wheel's going to take Soulzc up into the air. On the landing, Soulzc will fall down to the Rizzler. Ibba goes in with the Lord of the Afterlife and lands on top of RawToasts, and now turns his attention to the Riz Lord, and Sanctified Fields is out behind. Neja puts the juke shoes on, but cannot juke the sickle that well, as Ibba has the first kill for Sanctified.
Yeah, let's talk about this Naja with a great response by getting that pick onto Soulzc there. They just turn around and blind ulted as a Naja. That's something that's pretty scary to do, because if you miss that, not only do you look stupid, you're just dead without anything in your way. I think the sash was already down, so they didn't have a way to confirm it, and they did have to hit it or get out, but great plays by them.
So, yes, for the record, you're totally correct, because I suck at those blind ultimates. I'm thinking let's have some fun. Game's been pretty calm. We're still in the early, just now barely touching the tip of the mid lane phase. Soulzc and Dracull, there might be more, but to my knowledge, those are the main two, are both EU players. You were speaking Dutch earlier. I say at some point you take a small team fight, you take us through a short bit of it in Dutch. What do you say?
I don't mind. You just give me the clue whenever you want to.
I will make it a clear. We'll break the fourth wall. I'll give you a clear go. You don't have to do the long one. Just thought it'd be fun. Taking a look at gold charts, though, you can see why we're able to have fun like that. This game has been pretty calm. I mean, kills are definitely in favor of Dark Omen, but everything else is fairly even. And it's been a very relaxed game. Feels more like a godlike game. We'll see what the Rizzler can do about that. Windfire Wheels off at the sash. Brings MysticMegatron up into the air, and on the landing, falls down to the Rizzler. Gank out in duo. as well onto Steve, who is now slowed, uses the ultimate, but it will be for naught as IbbaWasTaken has taken a kill for Sanctified.
Yeah, and now the tides of the game are turning around a little bit as, well, our Wristlord got a third kill. I think what they're doing is great. They need to get this lead early, and they keep putting up pressure in mostly solo lane. However, the time is ticking as Sanctified is taking a Gold Fury for pretty much free here. The Pyromancer will fall down to Dark Omen. I don't think anyone is going to be there in time with Merlin, Merlin Burst.
Play.
Yeah, a great response, but the time is ticking if you're Dark Omen here. Unless they actually think they might have the late game, which I think would be criminally insane to think, but you never know. Maybe they just think they got it.
Yeah, I agree with you that late game favors Sanctified. I'm not sure if it's as hard of a favor as you do. My main reasoning is looking at the Merlin Xbalanque. It really will just depend on a few different factors, but it could prove to be dangerous. Oleron caught out and found Rizzler, but no mana, so cannot chase the kill down any further. And the Riz will be safe. And mid lane, okay, falling low, so is Dracull, but Ibba finds the kill under the tower. I was going to say gets away, but does not end up being the case.
Nope. Ibba just getting out scot-free, only having to use the ultimate for it, which is not that big of a deal. On 3 kills themselves now, level 14 actually being a little bit ahead in XP of the Wristlord now. As we see in the solo lane, pretty even levels. And I think I might have just seen the only reason why you would pick Amma against this Guan Yu, because Guan Yu cannot clear waves as long as you have dash.
Yeah, that is a good response. I didn't even think of that, but I also don't play solo. That's supposed to be you, Mr. Netflix.
Yeah, solo right now, in my opinion, is just put on Netflix, put on some sitcom that you probably don't even like all that much, and set your brain off, because you're just slapping each other for 25 minutes. However, that's in casuals and in ranked. This is a match where you actually coordinate with your jungler, and your jungler doesn't just say your build is bad and I don't gank. So it's less of a problem into these scrims and these sets as the players actually get ganks, as we see both, well, mostly the Wristlord being in solo actually quite a lot.
Yeah, the pressure has been well distributed from Dark Omen, but that hasn't really done much to the gold lead, as that Gold Fury put Sanctified in the lead, and they have not given it back since. So it's a good look right now. You could argue for both sides. I guess a bit of the tower advantage and the feel advantage is definitely Dark Omen. Rizzler just kind of hanging out, looking for an opening, but was sniffed out by Ibba, so we'll turn into a slight retreat. But hang on, because Toast and Rizzler are there, and they both are able to secure the oracles for Dark Omen.
Yeah, both oracles going down towards Dark Omen, even though Soulzc was ulting it, used 2 of their 3 bombs on it. Pretty surprising that both of them did fall down. However, here Ibba looking at Steve. Dash coming out.
The sickle, Lord of the Afterlife, slightly off the mark. There's the Aegis. The flail was not enough to secure the kill. So it looks like Steve is going to be safe for now. Quite surprising there for sure.
Yeah, I like how we were talking about how this game was going pretty slow, but now we have fights left and right. Maybe not that many kills just quite yet. However, I think this game got a lot more interesting from 100 to 0.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like they found the right flow. You know what? We have a fight. Looks like might be kicking up here soon as they're going hard in Dracull. Jeffrey, take it in Dutch.
Als je meer op naar de lucht gaat met de Nasha ult, Nasha confirmed de kill. En nu is actually Sobek best wel laag HP. 6 mist net de target en Soulzc toch uit kan komen. Odoran pakt gewoon wat farm mee op de weg uit en we're going back to English.
Alright, we could do that more often. That was kind of fun, I'm not gonna lie. And that fight was pretty calm. I thought it'd be the perfect one. And what surprises me about these fights and what's been impressive from both of these teams is they back away at the perfect time, and they're being very disciplined in these fights. And Dark Omen being disciplined before now leads to this Oni Fury that they're going to get for free.
Yeah, no vision on it for Sanctified. So They don't know, and they can't respond with the Pyromancer this time, which actually means Dark Omen might be rushing over there by the looks of it themselves, trying to get the second objective as well.
Yeah, they made a beeline straight for Pyromancer, just now pulling it. Not sure if Sanctified's fully on, and now they are. Soulzc coming over with Dracull. They're going to at least contest it. Pyromancer a little bit above half health. They let it go completely. Go on to Dracull. Rainfire doing damage. Ibba and Megatron going around the back, and they're going to run into just a level 12 support. He gets away, though, and Sanctified, despite having the positioning advantage by a light year there, was not able to secure any kills and doesn't go back to the Pyro.
Yeah, no Pyromancer, no for no one, as I thought Megatron might have been looking at it a little bit, but they're opting to save their tower here, as Pedro is just pushing it heartlessly right now. Just going for Bastion though, but the tower is falling low. What do you think, now that these solo laners are a bit higher level? It's actually Megatron with a little bit of a level lead. Do you think the Emma is starting to get a bit better now?
I think the Amma will be good. My worry late game is once that ultimate's down, I feel like Amma's can be a direct target for if you go in on Amma and you try to frontline, because I mean you have Sobek against you. You've got Guan Yu. They're displacing you. They're making your life tough. Neja could CC you out. It's just tough being a frontline in that scenario. Because you've got Ibba on the Osiris, who's going a big hybrid build. So he can take a lot, but not everything. Hang on, we got a blink here from the Rizzler, but the Windfire Wheels is off the mark through the Sanctified Fields, and Blizzard will be plenty safe for now. So I guess my big thing, just to spit it out quickly, is that, excuse me, Amma could definitely be blown up quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Emma, yeah, I think we have said all we wanted to say about Emma. I can't really sugarcoat it. As Pyromancer here falling down low. Actually, not sure who's going to get it. It seems like it's Sanctified with the Ymir ultimate securing it. Dracull, great captain plays. And now this Emma is going in with the ultimate. And it's just like you were saying, they're being blown up right after. Trying to get out now. Does survive after the pluck. I guess they do have the bit of the tankiness from the 2 physical defense items for now. They will live. And actually, I don't think anyone died that fight entirely. But Pyromancer did fall down towards Sanctified.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about before my coughing fit, was that I just worry about
Fire
MysticMegatron being able to survive here. Fire Giant's down to half health. Ibba's rushing over as fast as the Osiris legs can go. Is fully healthy, blinks past the Tallow Assault. Fire Giant's at 10%, Ibba's in deep, but Dark Omen secures the Fire Giant. Lord of the Afterlife comes down on top. Ibba gonna fall down. RawToasts gets credit for the kill. Now Soulzc and company are arriving, but a little bit too late to both contest and save Ibba Fire Giant for Dark Omen at 21 minutes.
What a great call. Everyone from Sanctified just backed after taking the Pyromancer, thinking they were fine. But everyone from Dark Omen just stayed. Getting a practically free Fire Giant was a little bit scary with Ibba being closer there. But I think 5 versus 1, you should out-secure that any day of the week.
Yeah, and I did like the play. I liked the way that Ibba went in. Everything was done right. Dying there is second to the contest. Obviously, nothing more can be taken quite this second from that. It was just one of those scenarios where you're certainly held back by the character and the amount of damage you can do, and it was just well played by Dark Omen, making sure they had the right abilities to secure. They head over here to the Primal Fury, and it looks like Sanctified's going to give it a light contest to this. I doubt this would be too serious of a fight. I don't think they're in the best spot for it. What strikes me as important to note is that both ADCs have sped on their way to level 20, and they're going to be dealing damage.
Yeah, I think the main thing to look at is that you don't want to give any kills or assists to this X-Ball anymore. Got 2 of those rage stacks already. If that rage is stacking up, that's the only way this X-Ball is going to keep up with the Ola run. Hitting those fat crits. They are probably looking at a Deathbringer now as well for a next item in their build, or maybe setting the starter for it a little bit later. We also see the dominance here on X-Ball. I like it a lot personally. What do you think about dominance on Hunters?
I really like dominance. I personally try to sneak it in my build as what I sell my starter for and get that extra penetration at the end. Try to value it a little bit more than some other items in the game. Good selection here, certainly. Tier 2 tower being pushed by Dark Omen, and it feels like they've got the weight of the world on the shoulders of Sanctified. It's a tough defense across the board, which is not what we were anticipating, Jeff. We were talking in picks and bans. You were saying how confident you felt in Sanctified's team comp, but they just have not been able to mesh together in a way that's made this team comp effective for what it is.
Yeah, until the Fire Giant just got sneaked by Dark Omen, I was confident that Sanctified had this in the bag for free, basically, with the team comp. But now, I'm getting a bit worried if I am Sanctified here. All your towers falling down? Well, surely soon at least, as say, having said that, there's still 2 towers in solo lane, by the way. Like, don't get me wrong. But having Fire Giant on Dark Omen here, you should get those towers pretty freely. Especially this tier 1, it's 1 basic from X-Ball away. Looking at it, 1 basic? Yeah,
One
it was
basic,
1 basic.
you had it. Yeah, what worries me, what when we start with what's good is you aren't behind in farm, as you managed to be ahead. What worries me is the team fights have just clearly not been clicking. There's something a bit off for Sanctified's team fights here. It's hard to really pinpoint what it is. It's just each one has kind of felt like there's something missing. We'll see if this fight changes anything. Dash in from Megatron, not punished for it, but it was risky. Nonetheless, Ibba rotating over, so now it's a 5v5, but there's nothing to fight over aside from Pyromancer. So I would be surprised if Sanctified goes too crazy here.
Yeah, Pyromancer does fall down towards Dark Omen, and I want to go back to the point you just made for real quick. I am very surprised by Sanctified this game, especially after seeing them and casting them last week. Knowing Dracull as a coach, this team does not feel like a team right now. It feels like individual players playing scouting grounds, trying to prove themselves, and it's not working in their favor. I am not used to them. I'm not used to this from them. By this is what I'm trying to say. And I think Dark Omen, although they might have a little bit of a worse comp, I think they're just playing as a team like way better.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. It does kind of feel like 5 individual players, personalities, whatever you want to call it, on the side of Sanctified. Split is just not working out too great here for Sanctified, and it's gonna be weird to see how they try to play around the late game here, because this is where they should have the advantage, but the last couple of fights have certainly not felt that way. They have a really good defensive comp if they can actually group and defend. It's just a matter of will they all 5 be grouped for that or not.
Yeah, I don't know. First of all, though, get your Agni to level 20. You're standing in a jungle doing nothing right now. I know
Yeah.
they're looking at Fire Giant, but there's farm all around you.
Been level 18 for a while too.
That's what I mean. This map is all about farm, all around you, and you're just standing still in the jungle. I'm not sure about that. Get level 20, you're gonna do so much more, upgrading that starter as well. However, team fight breaking out here. Take it over from me, please.
Dark Omen was able to pop some Magi's, some Dracull, get some pressure out, but Sanctified, again, just not feeling fully connected, and Dracull pays the price. Ibba goes in on the back line as his front line is being collapsed on, and now they turn around to Ibba to try to delete the Osiris, who uses Lord of the Afterlife to get away. Now MysticMegatron is alone, and Ibba's getting chased down by the cavalry charge, and he falls down to Patroclez. Now Dark Omen finds their target. MysticMegatron's up first, Soulzc's going to be up second, and the Rizzler is on the case, but getting a lot of damage. The Sash will secure it down to just Blizzard for Sanctified as that team fight completely fell apart, and Dark Omen now has an opening for Fire Giant. That was rough for Sanctified. They kind of just collapsed on each other.
I don't think Soulzc noticed how low the wrist lord got after they stunned him off him. I think 1 basic, if you turn around there and you actually get the kill on the Nasha, and you might live. A bit unfortunate, really. I mean, it wouldn't have changed that much in the outcome. Yes, Agni would have maybe lived, but you still have Fire Giant on 4. And Dark Omen, just looking at this last tower over here. Sorry, there's also a tower in solo lane still left. I keep forgetting about solo lane. It's a Netflix lane. Actually, maybe looking at the bird already. No, going to up towards this tower first anyway. Probably
They're
the
gonna clear
smartest
the
call.
tower out and then look to push to the birds as Jeffrey finally realized there was a solo lane. And Sanctified, they're running out of
tower?
opportunities to get their team fights together. This next team fight might be their last chance to get things together because Dark Omen looks like they're poised to end the game. And I just don't know if in this current I don't know what you want to call it, game state or headspace or what you want to call it, but it just doesn't feel like Sanctified's quite got it in game number 1 here.
Yeah, I don't know. And the worst part about it is I can't really even say like, yeah, of course the Rizzler is 5-1, so I guess you could say that, but I can't even like look at any players from Dark Omen and be like, yeah, they carried this match. I just think Sanctified refused to play as a team this game. The one thing they did so great last week is what they're lacking this week, and maybe they had a fight. I don't know what's happening with them.
I'm not quite sure. Currently, Ibba's taking a stroll around the jungle and farming up, and is playing very aggressive with this. Gets the shield buff, but will there be a cost? This could be a pick. I mean, Lord of the Afterlife's up. Ibba is moderately tanky. We'll be safe for now. But yeah, they're gonna get a free Primal Fury. I'm not sure. I'm never the type to kind of say like you gotta already be mentally moving on to game 2. This kind of feels like one of those games. There's a scenario where Dark Omen throws, and if you get a deicide, you can certainly get back in the game. And with considering what we've been pointing out about how late game Sanctified is, they could take over the game from that point. But I cannot see it happening. I mean, they're going to clean up the Pyromancer here. They've got now 2 bombs online. Okay. 1 bomb online. OLK.
Hey.
That's my hero right there. Hero arc OLKxHardKiller picks up the bomb. Now Dark Omen's going to look to group, and the only thing they've got left to really pick apart are the Phoenixes.
Yeah, these birds need to fall down to start these fire mains from to start this fire main. 1 second. Yes, these birds need to fall down for the fire mains to start spawning in and actually start hitting that Titan down. Because after all, this game does not end until the Titan dies, so it doesn't matter how far ahead you are. One deicide, like you were saying, for Sanctified here, could mean the end of Dark Omen.
Nicely done getting through it. Yeah, Sanctified currently losing 3-11. About 11k gold difference. The 3 kills all going to the Osiris jungle. And they've got to change something. Currently, Dracull and Ibba playing by the Fire Giant. The other 3 are back at Phoenix. And if Dark Omen is aware of this, this is interesting. Now Sanctified heading over. No hard commit yet from Dark Omen, but there is an opening there. Now Sanctified is all shown up, but again, just another weird bit of positioning. It kind of has forced Sanctified out into a weird spot in the jungle. Dark Omen won't take the fight. Looks like they might just be playing the slow game and then taking EFG and then looking to go in for the Phoenixes, which is a wise play because I don't think Sanctified wins this fight of fire.
No, I don't think Sanctified wins the fight in general. However, probably like you were saying, the smart play by Dark Omen. Don't take any risk, because like we were saying before as well, 1 deicide and it's over. And
Megatron went in and gave it their best shot, but Dark Omen gets the EFG, and now Megatron's going to be caught out and going to fall. Just a matter of who gets the last hit, and Megatron decides to give it to RawToasts by stepping into the flames. Now Ibba drops low, and it's a double kill for RawToasts. They're going to chase it further. Dark Omen, target selection going crazy. They turn to Blizzard, and Steve picks up that kill. They turn left. Triple kill for RawToasts. Just Soulzc is left. 1 basic attack ought to do it from RawToasts. Just gotta find it. Get yourself a quadra. Steve takes it. Steve took the penta. Put Steve on the pike. It's a deicide for Dark Omen, and this will lead certainly to a victory in game number 1. This was a tough game all around for Sanctified, but game 1 is over, and they can look to game 2 about what to change. As the Titan falls down to half and Titan falls down, we'll be right back on the desk to talk about what went wrong and what can change.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't.
Hello and welcome back. We are on the desk, and game one's over. And I think Jeffrey and I are both in mutual agreement. There isn't too much to discuss that you did not see. 3 total kills for Team Sanctified, all going to IbbaWasTaken on the Osiris. And Dark Omen played a very clean game, with the exception being Steve stealing what would have been a pentakill for RawToasts, and for that I will never forgive Steve, despite the stats. And yeah, it was tough. Going into game 2, I think I'll let you speak for yourself, but for me, the biggest thing I want to see is Sanctified play like a team, and I think that alone could completely change the outlook of the game.
Yeah, I agree, and that's the thing I was going to say, but to not repeat your words, because, everyone can just repeat words, I'll try and find something else to pick at, and that will be this Emma and this Osiris pick. Ibba being an absolute monster on the Susanoo last week. Susanoo was banned out of respect for it probably as well. But there are a lot of good picks open. I mean, Tor stayed open, like you were saying during picks events. Thanatos stayed open, didn't even get looked at, and they picked Osiris. And yes, they got all the kills from the team, but they also only did 13k damage in a, 30-minute match where the Nasha, okay, admittedly also only did 16k, so I guess it's not that bad. But I don't know, what I'm saying is I think Ibba, with the quality this player has, can do a lot better than going 3-3 on Osiris, because I think a more standard assassin right now, especially in this meta where assassins are the most broken after match-core ADCs, by the way, sorry. The most broken after match-core ADCs at, like, pretty much all time. Like, I don't think I've seen assassins in a better space ever. I don't get why you would ever pick Osiris.
I agree. Yeah, well, there's a lot to look for change in game number 2, but there is a game number 2 on the horizon, so we'll be right back in the Smite Draft League with game number 2 between Sanctified and Dark Omen.
Thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break, for God's sakes, feel like...
Hello and welcome back to game number 2. I hope not just Sanctified, but you've come back with a freshly renewed and positive mindset. I'm still Anthony Malum. I've got Jeffrey with me, and let's talk P's and B's here for game number 2.
Well, so far, the same as game 1 is it's only Humbots being banned out so far. Once again, I think I said it in game 1, Humbots not being a pick that gets banned out all that much. I don't know, maybe they know that Dark Omen has someone that has a nasty Humbots in their arsenal. Could be a personal ban, 'cause I don't think... Well, that's definitely a personal ban. Once again.
Yeah, they're keeping Ibba off the Susanoo here. A lot of other traditional assassins open, which I think is our... I think we have 2 big asks here for game number 2. I feel confident saying ask number 1 is for Sanctified, play like a team, and ask number 2 would be for a traditional jungle. I guess ask number 3 would be a focus on the solo lane, but the Ama... I mean, the Ama didn't help, but you cannot say that the Amaterasu was the problem in that game. So looking for something more traditional here and Sanctified to just play a bit cleaner. So in talking about that, what kind of... If you're in the role here of, say, Dracull, team captain, definitely having a big, if not the largest impact on team selection, what kind of team are you running here?
I'm looking at week 1 and trying to recreate that. Obviously, you can't completely do that with Susanoo being banned out. I am asking Soulzc if I'm the captain. Are you Are you still in a good mind, as you did go down pretty hard on the Acne in game 1? Acne still being a great pick, so if you can keep yourself together, don't mind the salty run back on that one. However, if I'm Dracull, I'm screaming indeed at my solo lane and my jungler here. I think, like you were saying, Emma hold her ground. She was not the problem why they lost. However, I went off on Ibba in the post screen, so I'll go off on MysticMegatron right now. I think Mystic is a very, very, very good solo laner, and Emma just makes them go even with Pedro. So I think if you can go even while playing Emma, if you pick something actually good, like we were talking about the Odin, for example, we were talking about Odin for the other team, but still, it would have been a way better pickup for Sanctified as well. I think you can actually win from Pedro being Megatron here. However, let's go back to these bans.
The Freya comes out, Maui's gone, Soul gone, and they've gotten rid of the Rizzler's Neja, so they felt like that was a problem. And look at that first lock-in. It's a Cucullin, assuming that goes to the solo lane. That is already ask number 3 that has been answered by Sanctified. Very good first selection.
Yeah, I sure hope so. If this is Ibba playing Kukulin jungle, I'm not casting this. I'll say that in advance.
That is a good call from you. I'm also looking the Oleron. I feel so strange saying this. I don't want to see the Oleron again from Blizzard. Not because Blizzard played it bad at all, but we learned in week 1 that Blizzard is an impact ADC who can make a significant difference. Oleron's one of the best characters in the game right now, but I don't think Oleron brought that to Sanctified game 1. I want to see Blizzard go on something closer to a hyper carry here and try to, if Sanctified falls into that trap of playing so lackadaisical, not playing like a team, I'm looking for Blizzard to be one of the people, probably Soulzc and Ibba being the others in that order, to kind of say, all right, well, play around me and then we'll work it out from there.
Yeah, maybe if you still want to go magical, since the magicals are so good right now, Kronos being a more damagey type mage might be good. But we also saw them on the Ishtar, I believe, in week 1, working out very, very well. They even played Hao Yi in game 1, I believe, last week. I'm sure you would like to see an Hao Yi, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely being a little bit selfish there, as Blizzard had a very nasty Hou Yi, but I just I just tend to feel as if those characters can kind of put a team on their back a bit different than Olderun. Olderun, I feel like, is a more sustained damage kind of character and can't really get in your face and make a play.
Yeah, that for sure. As we see on the side of Dark Omen here, a bit of a salty run back, as both Sobek and the Guan Yu are being locked back in. However, I like the
All
Pele, I
right.
like the Terra.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if it's as broken as game 1 was for Sanctified, fix the hell out of it. And they've completely renamed or remade their team comp so far, and it is a significant improvement. Just these 3 characters could spawn in on the side of Sanctified, and I would say that it was a significantly improved selection. The Pele in the hands of Eva is sure to be a nasty pickup. Dracull on that Terra being able to have a bit more widespread presence, a bit more mobility are all really, really good tools here.
Yeah, and the best part about this Pele third pick is you still have an ADC, you got a jungle, and you got a mid laner open. Pele, in theory, can fit all 3 of those roles. I don't think Soulzc is a Pele mid player, but you know, it's possible. It's very much possible. As
I like that.
Morgan Le Fay does get locked in here
I like
for
that pick
Dark Omen.
I like that pick for RawToasts. I feel like that definitely complements the play style we saw from the Merlin in game 1.
Yeah, it sure does. Morgan Le Fay, lots of CC, lots of self peel, lots of safety, but also lots of damage. Once again, not the best at maybe at securing objectives, but wasn't a problem in game 1, so
Yeah,
why would it be a
they really
problem in
didn't
game
need it,
2?
did they? No, the Hou Yi ban comes out, so as they were getting in the nitty-gritty and seeing that the ADC spot was still open, they were kind of on the same wavelength as us and thinking that Blizzard was gonna pick an impact character, and Blizzard's impact character appears to be showing itself to be the Hou Yi.
Maybe. Although I'm going back to it, I still hope this Pele goes towards the ADC. I think Pele ADC is fairly underrated, and there are still so many good assassins open for Ibba to take together with this Pele. However, we'll see. As Ao Kwang, I don't know why Ao Kwang made it this far into the draft, as well as a Wheelix.
Fenrir
Interesting.
getting locked in for, I'm assuming, the Rizzler. That's, with how Rizzler played game number 1 on the Neja, getting the Fenrir over there in the jungle, that could be a very nice pickup.
Yeah, the Rizzler is going to wrestle his wrists out of this way, going for the big wolf, trying to bite people. I guess some people are into that, so you can call it Riz as well. And we see a Scylla and an Ishtar being hovered here, not quite locked in. Scylla does get locked in after all.
I'm sorry.
Let's see. Don't worry.
The Ishtar gets locked in. That's exactly what I was looking for from Blizzard, is that type of character. I think the Ishtar is a nice selection, just waiting on one more lock-in, this time from Dark Omen. Who are you expecting to see?
I am not quite sure. Maybe the Oloran to just take it away, not take it away anymore, but I think once the Ishtar is locked in, Oloran just beats you like fair and square. It's not banned out. Chronos is also still open. However, you can also not be cringe and pick a physical like Apollo.
Huh. Wow. I was excited to see the Ho Yi last week from Blizzard. I'm excited to see Steve pull out the Apollo now, another one of my favorite characters. So, with all that being said, trades are just about complete. Characters are locked in. We'll see you in game number 2 between Sanctified and Dark Omen.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? 'Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in a wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself 'cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Let's hit the brakes. I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place. Used to think we're getting close, and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't.
Time to see if those vibes have changed in game number 2. I'm Anthony Malum. I've got Jeffrey with me and Nooblet on the camera. Let's do it.
Alright, we're starting off with Soulzc dying to buffs and missing the crush onto the red buff. Picking up the speed again, but I think it was on purpose.
Yeah, that
this
worked on
time.
purpose this time. I almost said the same exact thing.
I think Ibba just wanted the red buff and claimed it, honestly. Yeah, lots of damage being taken though from mid lane and being forced to use a potion already, and Ibba's looking at it and well, you're not helping your mid laner. They're dying.
Now Ibba goes in past the wave, pre-beads out from the, or excuse me, that was oh yeah, that was beads from the Rizzler. Now the minion wave is split. Crush comes out, now not available for the wave. Very awkwardly played fight there at the start. There's still a minion just kind of vibing on the side. Minion 34 is making plays. And Ibba's gonna gank Minion 34, gets one hit! 34 is still alive! Soulzc trying to clean it up! They're both dead in solo!
That minion lived longer than both solo laners.
Minion 34 outlasts both Patro and MysticMegatron as we were distracted as they kill each other in mid, or in solo. They both get back in with their teleport, and it's like nothing ever happened over there. Minion 34 finally falls in the mid lane, and we're back to even Stevens, and I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, the only big thing there is that Patro actually did get the first blood, so they're ahead a little bit in gold right now with the first blood bonus. Hold that thought though. Ibba.
Fall quickly. RawToasts was there, also got low. Rizzler cleans up the kill onto IbbaWasTaken. And Sanctified has 1. Dark Omen now has 2.
Yeah, I went quiet there because I was going to say there's no way you win that fight, and then it got awfully close for RawToasts to actually fall down there, which surprised me a lot. I guess the damage from the 3 was ticking down, but I thought Ibba was falling down way faster than they did in the end. However, what goes up must fall down, and Ibba was the one falling down this time. Yeah, close fight.
Very close indeed. Patro very low in solo, has to fall under tower. Duo lane side, Dracull and Blizzard are playing this aggressive, and they're doing damage to OLK, but with the minion wave being full healthy, they've got to take it easy. Minions 76, 78 are doing work back there, trying to avenge 34, who was killed in the mid lane a while ago.
Yeah, unfortunate there. The life of a minion is not a fun one indeed. Alright,
no.
and
Imagine
go on.
being a minion. That'd be a rough existence, I gotta say.
Yeah, training your whole life to fight in a battalion to just be one hit by an Ishtar who's like 4 meters tall for some reason. Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna tell legends of Minion 34, like make a statue in his honor for surviving so long against 2 people?
They would if anyone would remember him, but everyone dies, so yeah. Can't really do. Can you, by the way, imagine this minion? You see, looking at Scylla is supposed to be a little child, but she's like 3 meters big compared to those minions. It's kind of
I remember once
fun,
learning, I think Hyra's explained it. Actually, I'm going to hang on. Ibba getting very low quickly, and Ibba going to take out, RawToasts getting very low quickly, and Ibba takes out Morgan Le Fay. Patroclez very low, MysticMegatron diving in deep. Rizzler comes around the corner and brings Megatron under the tower. And the Rizzler does not respect the 1v1.
No, the Rizzler does not risk like that. He just risks in his own way, I guess. Takes the kill under the tower, actually getting Pedro in a little bit of trouble. I remember, I think it was Dark getting a pentakill in the Scouting Grounds that way by almost killing the solo laner with a Fenrir ult. So I guess it's just a new meta play. Almost kill your solo laner and do good.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. This game's getting a little unhinged, so my apologies for that. But what I was going to say was, I remember once Hyras was saying that and I'm sure you know this, the minions size of an average man, and the gods are not the size of average people, so the gods are like titans in perspective to the minions. which I never fully recovered from that knowledge. It kind of threw the whole perspective of the map off for me.
Yeah, I can see if you aren't like known to this information, I can see why it would throw you off a little bit.
Give me Smite cart, but let me play as the minions.
No, thank you. I think I will refuse.
Megatron falling low, gets pushed underneath the tower from Tallow Assault. Does survive. Was in rage form, so a bit tough to dive if you're Patro. But look at the Rizzler hanging around solo again. But this time, Ibba is also here. Rizzler dives in. Megatron goes in. There's the jump, and the Rizzler cleans it up with Ibba not even stepping over. Instead, going to be forced to secure the blue buff and walk away. So another death here for MysticMegatron.
Yeah, I'm not one to say it, but I think Megatron is going to start investing in wards here, as the Riz Lord has been going over here twice, getting 2 kills out of it. Going 3-0 now in general, with actually Kukulin himself having died 3 times. We got a the double kill for First Blood, of course, with both solo laners dying.
Giving
Kukulin
3 kills to the Rizzler is scary on the Fenrir.
It sure is.
I feel like that's one of the characters that I would... if I was given a list of in my top 5 of characters I don't want to get the first 3 kills of a game, I'm putting Fenrir in the top 5, 100%. Fenrir, Thanatos, you know, anything like that, realistically.
Oh, Quang.
Quang is a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, scary to deal with for sure. Mid camp's being cleared here. I also want to point out Blizzard here, by the way. I think Blizzard is actively trying to piss me and Fisher off.
Going starter item second. Hold on, because we've got Ragnarok coming out from the Rizzler onto Dracull. Brought into 3 of a monster in response. Dracull falling down low, a monster off the mark. RawToasts gets a kill onto the support on Sanctified. IbbaWasTaken is here with Volcanic Lightning, looking for the Rizzler. Couldn't find it, now cut off and stuck with OLK. And both of Sanctified's remaining members in the mid lane have to walk away. They cannot chase the fight any further. It's a tough break. Blizzard looking for Steve. Could not quite get the solo kill. And Apollo gets the back safely. That was close for the Apollo, and things are finally coming back down again. Yeah, the starter slot going second seems to be iconic for Blizzard at this point, much to your chagrin, I suppose.
Yeah, that's indeed what I was talking about. Ishtar here fighting the Apollo, by the way, in the duo lane, of course. Apollo falling down a little bit. I was very surprised to see Apollo being locked in here. I think we played a custom earlier today where you, with random gods where you got Apollo, and I think that might have been the first Apollo I've seen all of Season 10.
Yeah, Apollo's a character who very easily falls out of meta, despite having a global ultimate, and a mez, a dash, a lot of damage as well. There's just a lot that brings Apollo down in my book, but one of my favorite characters in the game, and I think certainly not underrated in the same way as Hou-Yi is, but definitely one of the more underrated characters in the game, and better one. Nice mechanics there from OLK to catch the Sentinel from Soulzc. I'm a Monster comes out trying to survive, but Brutalized doesn't care how fast you're going. The Rizzler takes down Soulzc.
Yeah, the Riz just biting down on those monsters. With a lot of Riz, I must say. He doing everything in his power to actually stealing the red buff here as well. Denying even more farm onto Ibba as well. As Ibba not quite falling down. I was expecting Ibba to be at least 2 levels down starting that sentence, but they're even Steven, even though the Rizzler is 4-0. Surprising?
Yeah, that is surprising. You know, you actually made a good point in a game earlier. Hold that thought. Anon Steve falling down low to Blizzard, but Blades of Retribution are already down, and we have a Sobek rotation coming out, so Blizzard may be the one in trouble here. OLK walking straight at Blizzard, enough to cause the jolt away. You're somebody who pointed out that you can get a lot of kills in the jungle, but if you aren't farming, you can fall behind. That's exactly what's happening to the Rizzler here. Despite these kills, Ibba's farming has just been slightly better, and that's enough to have a lead now on the opposing jungle.
Yeah, I don't quite get how the farm on this map works, honestly. Like, I would consider myself a jungle main lately as well, but hold that thought as Rizzler is looking here at Megatron once again. Stun does not connect, but there comes the Brutalize.
You can't miss Brutalize. Oh. Patroclez gets the credit. I can kind of feel the comms of MysticMegatron saying, get something, and they're going to try to get Gold Fury off of it. RawToasts heading that way with OLK in tow. Lurking in the waters, comes out, so does in the skies. Dark Omen gets the Gold Fury. RawToasts cleans up Dracull. And Dark Omen looking pretty again here in Game 2, now leading 8-2 with 300, heading to 400 gold as the lead.
Yeah, I'm a monster being used way too early onto the Gold Fury there. I think it was actually HardKiller there with the Soulzc ultimate confirming the Gold Fury for Dark Omen there by the end, as Dark Omen is the ones to steal it away. Yeah, I don't know what to say. A little bit of a misplay by, more like a missed time than a misplay by the mid laner, but that's gonna cost him dearly.
And that kind of just feels like... That feels like one of those scenarios where what could go right and why is everything going wrong? And Sanctified is just in a tough spot. This game probably feels like they can't get a win. Now Pyromancer being pulled by Dark Omen. Dracull being peeled away from OLK does get through. Soulzc now being the one focused on. They let Pyromancer go. Pick it back up. Still low. Dracull not going to be able to secure it quite yet. And Dark Omen gets the Pyromancer despite Dracull's best efforts. Kind of a tough character to steal objectives on when it comes to Terra, so definitely the best Dracull could have done there.
Yeah, Dracull just honestly just trying to stall for time, looking if Soulzc could come over and at least throw a crush over the wall. However, HardKiller was there to just pluck away and be a nuisance to get him out. Hold that thought though. Ooh, no, I'm a monster will not be enough to actually stop that kill, as Ibba will get the wrist slot here with the ticks from the ultimate. I think Pedro might have helped Ibba there to actually kill his own jungler by being able to be basic attacked to get the procs off from the Pele ult and find the kill on top of the wrist slot.
Yeah, it kind of just feels like Dark Omen is beating Sanctified to the punch at every minuscule thing across the map. And it kind of just leads to an overarching bigger problem for Sanctified. But again, a strength that I'm noticing, and this a lot of this has to do with the build path that we've seen Steve going into the Transcendence to the Pen build, is Blizzard has been able to just farm an AFK, and this time, I think, being on the Ishtar, that could keep Sanctified in this game much more than we saw in game number 1.
Also, something that really surprises me is looking at Ibba here, going towards the Bloodforge second item, and we did it, everyone. We did it, everyone. Megatron is cringe. No one in the first game got Contagion, but here we go. We got one.
I think this is the game that makes me lose my sanity. This is the set, rather. Yeah, the Contagion pickup comes out, and it is a good pick here against Patro and OLK. Definitely going to be some lifesteal coming out from Steve, and probably some from RawToasts. You got the lifesteal of Fenrir. I do like it here, much to, again, using that word second time this game, much to your chagrin, I'm sure, but it's a good pickup, unfortunately.
No.
Expert analysis from Jeffrey with the no.
Now, as a chat too, I must admit, for this game at least, I must admit, yes, Contagion is probably the best item to pick up here, as the anti-heal is just very good. Hold that thought though.
Goodbye, Dracull. Gonna fall down to RawToasts there on the ultimate ability. I feel that one as a support. Just nothing you can do against the Fenrir not going Purification Beads. Solo kill for Patroclez and MysticMegatron. That level disadvantage has really caught up with Mystic. Now Ibba trying to get the return kill onto Patroclez. Gets the knockup. Gonna look for the damage. Does have Volcanic Lightning. There it is. Gonna clean up the kill on Patroclez. Ibba now on a killing spree, but not there in time to help out the Soul Laner. Let's pop back to Duo as Steve's getting pressured out by Blizzard. A lot of damage coming through. Could lead to a jolt in from Blizzard. There's the Mesmerize. Blades of Retribution's not up. Steve falling low. Solo kill for Blizzard in the duo lane. But guess what? The police are here, and OLK kills Blizzard.
Yeah, I don't think Apollo can do anything anymore over there to actually manage to stay alive. But however, that mesmerize timing on Steve there. Whew. I couldn't do that if I wanted to. Was it an accident? Was it on purpose? We'll never know. If I was Steve, I would definitely say it was on purpose. However, stunning out an E-star dash from that close range, impressive.
Yeah, I agree. That was very impressive. It's the little mechanics that make us go wild. Primal Fury getting pulled down to half health. I'm a monster coming out from Soulzc. Gonna look for the steal. Will they let it go? Will they keep on it? They let it go. Soulzc now caught out and taking damage. Brutalized does not catch Soulzc quite in time. Soulzc gets away. Primal Fury pulled again, down to quarter health. Ragnarok comes out from the Rizzler, picks up Soulzc, brings Soulzc to the Primal. Dark Omen secures it regardless, and now the Rizzler taking a lot of damage, but Dracull going to be the savior there with the heal coming off in time. Dracull now caught out between OLK and Steve, but with Blizzard around the corner, that's enough for Dark Omen to take the victory and walk away.
How is no one dead? What is happening? How did Soulzc live there? But more than that, look at that beautiful long dash, by the way, by the Scylla. But more than that, how did the Wristlord live there? The Wristlord wanting to go for the Scylla with the grab off, like at all costs. But then Terra ultimate coming down, bringing them down to less than 1 HP. And then jumping in with that HP, and then no one hitting a single basic attack to actually finish them off. I'm losing my mind over here, Anthony. Please help me.
I wish I could. I wish I could, but this is just one of those sets that will stick in our memory for a long time. I wouldn't say this game's being played bad. It's just a lot of oddities going on at once. Sanctified steals the Pyromancer away. Ibba got in there, and Ibba took it. That's a Pyromancer for Sanctified. We'll get them a bit back in the game with gold, but the team fight after might be more important here. Blizzard takes a tier 1 tower in left lane away from Steve. Steve almost died in the process, and Sanctified will walk away with the Pyromancer steal in their pocket.
Yeah, Dark Omen.
Steve had the ult.
Steve did have to.
Oh, goes back in on Blizzard! The jolt in response! And Blizzard solos Steve after a good attempt with to the skies. Blizzard just had the response ready and had the damage for it.
Yeah, I think Steve right now is having the problem that MysticMegatron was having in game 1. I think Steve is a phenomenal ADC. I also think they're being character diffed like very hard right now.
Yeah,
Correct?
I'll have to agree. A lot of little rough things this game. I say this with respect, and this is always something that you can never assume. It feels like Sanctified might be playing a little tiny bit on tilt and just being a little bit hyper-aggressive and kind of making calls that aren't in the greatest of headspaces this game, which might lead to some of the oddities we've seen and some of the small things. There has been some great play around it, so definitely not taking away entirely from anything Sanctified's done, just something always worth talking about. Ibba had a game on a Patroclez and did damage, but now looking at trouble from the Rizzler, but will be safe, so I think we're okay to hear from you, Jeffrey.
Yeah, what I wanted to say was, if I do speak negative about players, that doesn't mean I don't like them as a player. I mean, looking at Soulzc, for example, last week, you could tell I was a very, very, very big fan of what they were doing that week. However, they have an off week this week, and I think we should mention it. They are just not bringing out what Sanctified needs from a mid laner right now.
Sanctified gonna look to take this fight and see what they've got in the tank here. They're doing good damage to the Rizzler, enough to take him out. Patroclez goes in and finds 4 members hanging out there. Has RawToasts getting very low in the back line to MysticMegatron. Gonna use Consuming Power to try to get away. It will work. Apollo is in left lane. No rotation yet from Blizzard, as it might come now. That ADC is looking over. Apollo does have ultimate available to get over if need be. But look for Dark Omen to maybe split push here as they take a light fight in the jungle. Nothing too serious being committed yet. Now Blizzard's arrived, so look for them to go in more. Ibba in the back kills RawToasts with a solo kill. Patroclez and OLK are stuck and now taking a lot of damage. I'm a Monster finds OLK looking for Patroclez as Well, there's the root, cleans it up, but gets the dash off through I'm a Monster. Tier 1 tower's fallen. Now going to look for a Tier 2 from Anon Steve on the Apollo. One of the best things about Apollo is the split push capabilities. Without a doubt, you also have the Mesmerize to survive even longer underneath that tower. There that goes. That's a clean tower there. Fight continues in Solo's side. Patroclez gets pushed out by Megatron and IbbaWasTaken. Fire Giant down to half health. The Rizzler's looking around the side. Crush is on top of it. I'm a Monster will not be available for the secure this time. Dracull very low. There's the jump in from the Rizzler. Dracull dashed out of it. There's a Ragnarok. Rizzler cleans up Dracull down to half health. To the skies from Apollo. Lands down. Not quite good, but got the knock up on Blizzard. Rizzler splits from Steve, and Ibba takes out the Rizzler. Now Steve's got to back up, but what's important is they drop the Fire Giant, and it's healing back up. They could not secure it during that fight, so Dark Omen, only losing one member, was successful in defending the Fire Giant.
Yeah, what a chaotic fight that sure was. The Rizzler falling down did take Dracull with them, and I think what they did was necessary and very good, because what it means is Fire Giant is still alive and not in the hands of Sanctified right now, where it looked like Sanctified was having that in the bag if they just stayed on it. However, I think like at least 3 people started to chase the Wristlord, and it might fall back to what you were saying before. It looks like they're playing on tilt a little bunch. One thing I do want to go back onto, by the way, the second I called out Soulzc, they hit an I'm a Monster and got a kill, so props to them. They might be hearing me right now, and yeah, great on them. The set is saved. I am so happy that we got to see an I'm a Monster kill.
Yeah, Soulzc definitely one of the more mechanically inclined mid laners in the Immortal division. Gold charts are telling quite a different story to the feel of this game. Dark Omen is ahead 2k gold, experience about the same, kills about the same. So Sanctified, one way or another, has found themselves still being competitive in this game. The biggest difference at the moment is probably the feel alongside the split push and duo lane, getting a bit ahead. Ibba is actually really where that experience difference stays even, already being level 20 alongside Blizzard. So impressive there from the jungle ADC combo.
Yeah, the difference though is the reason why it's a bit even though is this Sobek already being level 16, where Dracull is still hanging around at 13. Thanking the Fire Giant for their team here though, but I would like to see the Dracull on the Terra here to get a little bit more from Steve up in the air.
We'll see if this looks to be an initiation from Steve.
Oh.
Can't go through the Fire Giant walls, got to turn around.
Oh.
And still not coming down. Gonna go down on the XP camp, so I guess they were just using it to get information and maybe see if there was a pick, but there was no pick. Just took the information and played it safe. That will cost the ultimate from Steve and a bit of mana, but nothing more than that. Rizzler runs into 3 members, and the fight's breaking out, and the Rizzler is very low and getting lower. Ibba was going for the kill, but couldn't quite find it. Gets blocked backwards into Steve and RawToasts and somehow survives it for the time being. Dragonfly did not find a home. Patroclez goes around the side, and Blizzard cuts off Patro and is doing tons of damage, so gotta respect it. Now OLK and Patro are cut off from their team. They get pushed in by 2. Cavalry charge comes out. Blades of Retribution stuns 4 in the back to keep Dark Omen away. So Sanctified has mastered the art of retreat.
Yeah, no one dying once again is massive. How many more team fights are we gonna get where everyone just kind of like
away.
lays back and walks away?
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, without deaths, I don't know really what to tell you. Is there anything you have questions to me about with builds or something like that?
Yeah, I know. We're scratching heads and splitting hairs, trying to find things to talk about. I guess let's go broad with it. If you had to look at a team and say this team is taking this game home, what team do you have here at 24 minutes?
I think it must be Dark Omen for the same sake as Game 1. I think Sanctified is still not playing as a team all that much. Ibba is stepping up a lot more than they were on the Osiris. However, I'm just not sure. Sorry, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. I think Dark Omen might take this for a 2-0 set.
All right, so let's go to the other side of it. as we still have some time. What does Sanctified have to do to not... Obviously, they have to win this game, but what would they do for the rest of this game and potentially going forward? How do you manage to win this?
Well, first of all, Soulzc needs to hit level 20 and start confirming some objectives. I need to say this, I'm a monster, come out a little bit later and actually kill the objective. That's why you're the big boom boom mage ultimate. Morgan Le Fay doesn't have it, so you should win basically every objective that gets contested. Like, for example, this Pyromancer, it fell down for free for Dark Omen. Nothing Sanctified could do there. But the amount of objectives that went towards Dark Omen where Sanctified was there is too big.
Yeah, I agree completely. Builds-wise, everything's looking pretty standard here. Nothing too crazy to talk about. We could, I guess, in theory, talk about the ADCs, but they're just going pen, pen, pen. Dracull dropping down low. Just a matter of can somebody secure it. OLK trying to get to Dracull, gets cut off, and now look at the health bars and Dark Omen disappearing. IbbaWasTaken as a kill. Anon Steve lands down. RawToasts gets one, and Sanctified, once again, slowly but surely might be falling apart. Inward out.
Goodbye.
There's the crush doing damage, and Soulzc's in the mouth. It's a double kill for Steve. Now they're going to look for MysticMegatron, and Ibba is back to base. Going to look to get there in time to maybe save MysticMegatron, but just not going to be able to get there in time. Maybe, wow, they're going to let the kill on Megatron go. Going to look to set up around Fire Giant with the advantage they have here.
Yeah, mistakes were made in game 1 and mistakes have been learned from not chasing the kill in the tower. This one probably pretty free to get. However, I like the call to just let it go. Don't mind it, it's a 1 in 5 solo laner. They're not worth that much. Get this Fire Giant.
Ibba showed up on a ward. So Patroclez went over for the stall. Rizzler joins in the fray. Brutalize on top of IbbaWasTaken, and Ibba somehow manages to kill the Rizzler. Now Patroclez is on top of IbbaWasTaken and taking the fight. Ibba's still alive, and Dark Omen had to let go of the Fire Giant.
And now we'll go back to a bit of a calm. So to go back what you asked before about the items, I think the single weirdest thing in this entire game so far is Ibba going for the Bloodforge second item. I don't think that's something I've seen that early that much. It's a very, very expensive item. It worked out for them though.
Yeah, it offers a lot of damage. The passive is obviously one of the stronger passives in the entire game, so I guess there is some definite logic there. Also, I feel like Bloodforge plays off Ibba's playstyle very well.
Yeah, fair enough. Just normally I would see a Bloodforge usually as like a last item or a second to last item. I was very surprised to see it this early.
I certainly agree with you there. Things have kind of stalled out here at 28 minutes. It feels like Sanctified is working their way back into this game on the back of Ibba. But Dark Omen, just their answer for the momentum swinging is to kind of back off, which is really smart, I think.
Yeah, Dark Omen doesn't want to take one too many fights right now. Don't want to shatter your mental. You still should have the upper hand. You still should have the upper hand in the mental department as well. You're a game up. You got nothing to lose. I think Dark Omen still has this. However, I think it's smart by them to just lay down for a little bit, take a step back, maybe pick out Ibba and then win a fight. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
They don't quite know Ibba's there. Ibba has not shown up yet. Will show up now. He goes towards the wave. Dark Omen's going to set up for the Fire Giant, and Ibba's in a great position right now for a flank, but has shown up, and now Dark Omen's rotating over. It will be enough to displace Ibba, but I don't think they're going to find the kill here. Ibba should be plenty safe. They're collapsing quick. Volcanic Lightning's up. MysticMegatron is there as well, but now MysticMegatron may be sacrificed, potentially. No, Dark Omen does not go all the way in. So we're reset again for Fire Giant, and Ibba's positioning is wasted.
Yeah, so the one thing we didn't have last game was a fire dance for 60 minutes. Wonder if we're gonna get it this game. Personally, I hope not. However, it will be, it will be a bit of a gamble
possible,
who
right?
wins them. Anything is possible in a game of Smite.
Dark Omen cleans up the Pyromancer. We're about to cross 30 minutes into the game, which means EFG is about to be on the table. We'll see who wants to really force the issue for it. Ibba once again has found his positioning in the back there. Patroclez looking to create an opening. Does not find it. Dark Omen going to take tower in mid. Ibba's going to wait for a pick back there. What worries me is if Sanctified takes a fight without Ibba being there. Patroclez the only one here for now. Sanctified walks off the Fire Giant. Ibba's still in the back. MysticMegatron looking to go in. Ibba's going to find RawToasts. Blinks in. Looking for the pick. Gets pushed away by Dragonflight. Now consuming powers. Doing big damage quick. And Ibba's going to run into the Rizzler. Volcanic Lightning comes out. What's going to be the cost? It's going to be the cost of Ibba's life. As the Rizzler cleans up the jungler from Sanctified. Now Sanctified finds themselves down a member for the EFG fight. That's not looking good for Sanctified, and Dark Omen wants kills. Rizzler goes in on Dracull, gets cut off by the Monolith. Blizzard waiting around a corner to try to help his team get out of there, but look at the damage that is around the corner. RawToasts looks for Blizzard, gets some pokes. Steve's up in the air as well. Gonna land down on top of MysticMegatron. Is down below half health, so is Soulzc. Soulzc gonna get out of there for now. MysticMegatron may not be so lucky, does get through the door in time. Sanctified was able to retreat with 4 members despite the early pick onto Ibba.
Yeah, I don't know if you can even say that Ibba died during that fight, and if you don't, that means it's another fight with 0 deaths in the end. However, the Rizzler gets knocked up by the Fire Giant. However, I think this Fire Giant will fall down fairly free to Dark Omen. It is Soulzc walking up there, but he will be way, way too late to do anything about it. So that's EFG going towards Dark Omen.
If I'm Dark Omen, honestly, I'm grouping and forcing the issue because I know at this point that Sanctified's team fight is just not there right now. So I'm forcing the issue. I'm forcing a fight. I'm using this EFG to my advantage. The only ultimate that we're down currently is Anon Steve. Probably the biggest issue on the side of Dark Omen is that the Rizzler has no actives, but does have Ragnarok. So I'm forcing the issue. I'm forcing a fight. I'm running it down. I'm seeing what I can make happen and what I can take advantage of.
Yeah, just run down these towers, probably get these towers down. Well, the entirety of Sanctified will wait under Phoenix, knowing that if they step up, they're probably just going to die straight up. And then, like you were saying, force that fight. Just go for it. You have nothing to lose. I think you win it. Get Ragnarok under Phoenix, grab someone out of it who doesn't have beats, which will only actually be Megatron, as even Dracull did pick up the beats again on this Terra here. However, you can always force something, get them out of their comfort zone, and you have a lot of ranged poke as well with the Morgan Le Fay abilities. I think you can fight under Bird even here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I'm Dark Omen, I'm just walking in at this point. And you kind of know, you can kind of play off what you expect to happen. You know that Ibba's going to go in. You know that he's going to be separated from his team. Soulzc's going to be in the back a bit too long. Dracull's going to play hyper-aggressive with MysticMegatron to try to get Ibba out of there. You can kind of pick apart what you expect to see from this team fight and use that to win the team fight. And I feel like Dark Omen, if any team would do that, they are going to expect it this game.
Yeah, maybe
Let's
as the
see what
plug
happens.
comes out,
Dracull
that's
gets
step
plugged
1.
back in, and Jeffrey, Dracull's gone. Do you have any idea where he went? Because I don't. RawToasts has to kill onto Dracull. Ibba ran into the Rizzler, but the Rizzler is still above half health. Blizzard sending out some TIE Fighter shots to try to keep Dark Omen at bay, but Dark Omen is unfazed. Dracull goes in, beats forced on Blizzard. Rizzler around the corner. Gonna find MysticMegatron. Patroclez gets credit for the kill. Ibba falls down to the Rizzler, and the Phoenix follows suit. Looks like Dark Omen's tired of playing this game. They're running at the Titan now. Phoenix is down. Only 2 left, and look at the damage coming out from Dark Omen on the Titan. Titan down half health. Plucked back on the Blizzard. Rizzler gets credit for the kill. Only Soulzc left. I'm a Monster comes out, but it won't be enough. Dark Omen plays like a team and takes the set and erases the 1-0 record of Sanctified. We'll be right back on the desk to talk about what we saw.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone
GG's all around. Sanctified did everything they could despite clearly playing at a disadvantage of some sort. Could have been the tilt, could have just been bad vibes, could have been just a rough day. You never know. They did play well, much better in the second game comparatively to the first game, but Dark Omen just had every advantage working in their favor, and the team fights were disgusting, and the damage was real from the Rizzler. Jeffrey, give me your thoughts on what we just saw.
Well, I want to talk about one player in particular right now, someone who might not have been looked at too much as, well, we always talk about kills, like, we can talk about the Rizzler going 9-4, but I want to talk about this Soulzc. I represent supports over here, and Soulzc is a better flight attendant than any European airport right now, or for the last 2 or 3 years. Hitting those plugs in the end, starting the last fight to actually get the burn and get us out of this game, well played.
I think you said it best. And honestly, Sanctified, you said it, I said it, we know they're a gross team. Some of the best mechanically gifted players that we have in not just the Immortal Division, but in the STL. Just one of those games where things were not clicking. I expect to see them come back in Week 3 with a fiery vengeance and clean things up. But with all that being said, that's a wrap for us here in this Immortal Division set. I've been Anthony Mallet. My chair 2 was the EU Prince Jeffrey, and iNooblet was running camera for you today. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more games in the future and join the Discord to keep an eye out for tournaments. We'll see you next time on the Smite Draft League.